Hey guys, I had to pop in and say hi before you start watching my little video today and let you know that in great Kelly fashion, towards the end, things are getting cut off and I'm trying really hard. I really am. It's a work in progress. And then I'll let you guys decide if I'm really talking about Brenda or Laura, because when I say Brenda, I might mean Laura. And when I say Laura, I might mean Brenda. You decide. Hi everybody, it's Kelly and it's Sunday, May 23rd, 2021, and I'm sitting here in Black Thread Studio, and I just thought I'd come and follow up from last week when I did a little floss tube. And I know I never edit, and I tried to edit something out. Should I tell you what I tried to edit out? Okay, this is what I tried to edit out. I was talking about bosoms, and I started on this tangent because I can see myself and I don't like the way I look on top, so I'm always trying to hide. And I got off on this tangent and I tried to edit and delete what I put in, and I ended up cutting off the whole end of where I was showing you haul and my plans, things I wanted to do. And then I also realized in trying to cut myself off so that you don't see too much of me, I think that's why I'm cutting off like heads and cutting off things that I'm showing you. So I did back up the camera. I'm trying to hide and not be self-conscious, I guess. So anyway, here we go. I think what I want to talk about today, if you want to stick around with me, is follow up with what I cut off last week. None of this is going to be edited from here on out because I don't want to have to do things again. And you know, it's not fun when you cut something out after you've done it. So anyway, let's see. Last week, I did start talking about, what should I start with? Well, I had a few finished projects, and I don't have them because I've given everything away. But I wanted to show you, and forgive me, I don't remember if I showed you this last week, but I wanted to show you the two things that I did finish. One of them was Heartstring Samplery, I Wish You Lived Next Door. And I made that for Hadley. I think I did talk about this, but I ended up putting her initials where the bird was, and then I ended up putting some little antique buttons in place there. And I made that for her. And again, I don't have it, but I will stick a picture of that and what I gifted to Paige. Actually, I don't know if I will put it in because I put it in last week, but that's why I had a picture of this in there. And then I also had a picture of a finished Mary Catherine Harris, 1873 by Erna Hiscock. And I did finish that off for Paige. I did it pretty much in the called for colors. No, I didn't, because I didn't use black. I used DMC 3799. I wanted it to have a little softer look to it. And I did finish that for her. But now, although I don't like to do things, I really don't like to stitch things a couple times, but this one I will be stitching again. And then this one I'm going to stitch again for myself. For Paige, I left off the Mary Catherine Harris at the bottom. I'm going to include it for myself, but when I do it, I am going to do it on just kind of a raw linen. I think that's a 28 count. And then my favorite in the reds from the Thread Gather, that variegated red that I love so much. So anyway, I'm gonna do, this will be my first red sampler that I'm including for the Law that Brenda and Laura, the serial starter, talk about. So this is gonna be my first red sampler that I'm gonna do. So I just thought I'd show you that. And then I kind of have a cool project that I have in mind to do for myself. And I wanted to show, I don't know if you guys get these magazines, Where Women Create. There's also In Her Studio, I don't know, there's like 3 or 4 that Joe Packham does. And sometimes I just go by the cover to see which one I'm going to get because they're a little pricey. They come out quarterly, I believe. But I was flipping through. Usually Joann Fabrics has them, so does Barnes & Noble. They're not that easy to find, or you can subscribe. Anyway, I was flipping through this one, which was spring 2021. So it still might be on. That's the cover if you're looking for it. But I lived in Arizona and I really was interested and got into Frida Kahlo's story. And they had so much artwork out there in Arizona, and statues and pictures and reproductions of her work. And then when I moved to Minnesota, at the museum, at the art museum, they ended up doing a Frida Kahlo exhibit, and my daughter Paige and I went, and it was unbelievable. It was amazing. They had original artwork. They had old family photos and letters that her and her husband had written together. So she just has a remarkable story if you don't know it, and just the things that she went through and struggled with, and as far as physical pain, and was able to keep creating. There was a movie, and I'm sure it was Salma Hayek that played Frida, and it's been years, but it was a good movie. So anyway, I found this. I was flipping through, and there's a whole article, like a lot of pages, talking about Frida and her work. I mean, pages and pages. It's a really long article in here. Anyway, I thought, wouldn't it be fun to display this opened, you know, to one of these cool pages, and then have couple little stuffed pillows sitting on top of it, of Frida. So what I did, these would be haul for me, I guess, from the Snowflower Diaries. I'm sorry it's not in color. I did get this one off of Etsy. I don't remember which shop, but this is Viva La Frida. That one. Wouldn't that be so cute in a little pillow sitting here? And then, can I show, I guess I can show this. Have you seen, I just won't show it that long or fast, but it's just, and that was also on Etsy, and I don't have in front of me which one I downloaded that from, but it's her famous eyebrows and just her hair and flowers. And those are plans that I want to do a little nod to Frida. So that's new. And then the rest of the things I'm going to show you are haul as well. And then when I finish up, I'll talk to you about a couple finishes that I have done. So I had talked about how much I love Lori from Not Forgotten Farm, and her patterns, and a lot of things were on sale on her Etsy shop. So I went in. I'm going to make this. I think this is the next thing that I'm going to make. I'm going to make it and wear it. This is I Stitch Needleworker's bracelet, and it says, I stitch, therefore I am remembered. I just think that is so cool. And what I want to do is use silk ribbon from the thread gatherer to do this. And you know what, I'm going to start on this today, and I hope it won't take me too long to get it done. I'm only stitching pretty much for an hour or two at night now, and then on the weekends. So I'm hoping I can get that one done this week and actually wear it to work. Wouldn't that be fun? The other one I got was the sewing sampler, and it is my linen is my soil, my needle is my plow, my threads are my seeds, and my words I do sow. I also absolutely love that one. So a couple from Lori, Not Forgotten Farm, if you check her out. Plus she has, oh my gosh, on her Instagram, if you guys follow her, she had those little field mice that they found. I did comment, I made myself watch it because I don't know why. I'm not afraid of snakes, I'm not afraid of spiders, I'm not afraid of anything. But when a little mouse scurries, okay, it would be a rat too, but anyway, I made myself watch it to say, aren't those mice cute? So I'm trying to teach myself not to be afraid of them. Anyway, you should follow Lori. She has really cool stuff on her Instagram feed. Okay, the next one I did was Rosewood Manor. I actually had on 123 Stitch, you can put to notify you when something's out or back in after it's been sold out. And this was one of them. This is designed by Karen Kluba from Rosewood Manor, and this is Silent Sampler. I love that. So this is just haul and haul with some plans. So I did talk about that. My daughter Paige asked me to cross stitch her a rabbit, which still surprises me, but she has a space on her front foyer wall where she has all black and white pictures hanging, and up on the very top she has a little kind of rectangular section that she wanted me to do. And I found this rabbit. This is La-Di-Da, the Toten Hare, and she wants me to do that for her, which I think is so cute. And instead of whatever's in the basket, she wants me to make it green so that it will be green pears. And because her wall is black and white on those pictures, I got 32 count vintage smoky white Belfast, and it's very mottled. And I think that will be really pretty. So that will be another start that I'll have soon so that I can get that done for Paige. I'm going to just send it to her and let her figure out how she wants to frame it, and then I don't have to worry about shipping a frame. So the next one I have is, I really want to do this for myself, for my bedroom, and put it on my bed. And this is the sampler roll. And Samplers Remembered by Linda Danielson. And I've already talked to Cece from the Thread Gatherer. She does such beautiful silk threads. And when I went to visit her, gosh, what, three weeks ago now? Gosh, almost 4 weeks. No, yeah, almost 4 weeks ago. She kind of mentioned that they might start doing the 13mm dyed silk ribbon again. And I talked to her, and I think the one she's going to do for me is silk and satin. And I wanted a black faded ribbon to put on there because my bedroom is black and cream with a little bit of red. So that's a haul and a plan, is to do that one for my bedroom. Because I'm going to put it on my bed and I wanted it bigger, I actually purchased a 28 count. It calls for a 40 count. I did do a 28 count. This is Vintage Country Mocha because I want it to be a little bit bigger to fit on my bed. So as I make my bed, then it will sit like in front of the pillows. So that one, that is so pretty. I would venture to say that this might be one of my favorites. that might be a favorite. So along with that, I have a couple finishes that I started talking about last week, and I talked about the scripture Isaiah 41:10 that I had made for Brenda, and I totally finished it. And I showed it last week, but it wasn't filled because I didn't have my crushed walnut shells. And I'm going to tell you how I did hers different and what I did different with Brenda's, and give you my thoughts on that. So when I finished it, I wanted these buttons tied so that it looked like it was old tied ticking on the back, like a ticking mattress. So I just tied that off on the back. And on Brenda's, I sewed her buttons on first. And I wasn't sure, when I made Hadley's like this, I sewed Hadley's buttons on after I put the walnut shells in. And I also sewed Hadley's yo-yo on the back after I got it filled. So with Brenda's, I decided I was going to sew the buttons on first and then sew the yo-yo on first, which was fine. It was easy to do. I don't know if I like how this looks without any walnut shells in there at all, is what I was thinking. But then when I did Brenda's, I'll show you. I did hers the same with the tied off buttons and the yo-yos, because I have to have a yo-yo on almost everything, even if it's on my label. But I actually tied hers on after and sewed her yo-yo on after, and it kind of looks about the same. I don't think that there was that much difference. So I just thought I would share that with you, that for me, I don't know, it might have been easier to sew this on before I filled it, because it was big enough and I wasn't worried about it being too glumpy when I turned it inside out. With Laura's, I was afraid that it would be too much fabric to turn on this little piece. So as you can see, in this instance, Brenda gets the bigger piece because Brenda needs it right now. And then Laura is getting the cute little one. So I did put Isaiah 41:10 on there, and they are both in the spirit of the law of having a red sampler. So I really had fun making these. As I made both, I was praying for Brenda, and I know a lot of us are, and I just had a total joy getting these done for them. So if you hang around towards, well, after this, not towards the end, because I think I'm done. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on today. I did get these done and filled because my shells came yesterday. And oh, I know what I was going to talk about. I have not gotten, well, let me finish this thought first, I guess. Stick around to the end. I did just a little filming of me putting Laura's together. If you want to watch, I talked about the I showed how to do a yo-yo a little bit, just so you can see. This is a 60mm clover template for the yo-yo, and that's the size it turns out to be. So you can see how much different it is once you get it gathered up. Then with Brenda's, I did the big kahuna, the 90mm, which is like this. It's so big you can't even, you have to punch it out with the sides instead through the back. But that's the size that her yo-yo turns out to be with that big one. So if you guys haven't used these, they are so much fun to make. I have a big jar. Once in a while, if I just feel like making yo-yos, I make them and I throw them in the jar. Then I have some done when I'm ready to go. And then I started a jar for Hadley, so I'll just fill those. I'm sorry, I'll just make those and send them to Hadley, and she is filling her little jar. So I just think that as she gets older, maybe hopefully we can do something together with them, or she'll just have fun having them in a keeping them in a jar. So, okay, these, so you can stay and watch how I put this one together. And then that's what else I had to delete last week. I showed you putting, I recorded doing Fear Not, putting this one together for Laura, and I got it somehow set on slow motion, and it about 4 minutes of putting this together turned out to be like 20 minutes long. It was ridiculous, so I had to delete that as well. But so upcoming, I am doing the pandemic sampler from Sarcy Girl, Deborah Carol Stitcher. It's Debora, so it could be Deborah. My older sister's name is Deborah, so we've had these discussions before. Deborah or Deborah dot Stitcher. No, Deborah or Deborah dot Carol dot Stitcher is on Instagram, and she started this pandemic sampler sale, and I'm doing that June 1st. I forgot to grab it to show you. And then I'm also still waiting on my long dog sampler fabric from Lithuania that I ordered, but I do have all of that. I have all the floss for it, and I keep looking over there because I think I'm going to show it to you. I think I'm going to show you what I did. So I talked about this a little bit. I think I did. Lori from Thread Milk Design, when I went to her website, by the way, I wanted to order all her milk cap floss drops, and when I went online to order, she was all sold out. So I don't know, excuse me, I don't know if she has any back in. Excuse me. But I ordered just all the plain white teardrop shape, and I'm trying to organize all my floss. So I might take you over right here on my wall and show you what I'm doing. I thought maybe I would show you when I got it filled, but maybe I'll show you in progress as well. So hang on and let me bring you over, okay? So here's what I'm talking about with my floss. As I started to get back in a cross stitch, oh my gosh, should I even show you? I had this basket drawer just filled with floss just thrown in there, and this has been kind of organized out. It was a disaster. Then what I did is I thought this was a really good idea because I didn't know if I was going to do you know, the floss bags, if I was going to do bobbins, because I had all my floss and bobbins, and then I thought I would get these and throw my floss in there by color. And then I really, so you can see I have two, whoops. You guys know I can't delete that because I'll end up cutting out the whole thing. So anyway, I have a lot to do, but this was the idea that I got from Thread Milk Design website. She had a curtain rod like this, but she had two hanging with all her floss on it. And I just did, if you can see, a double rod. I had Jim hang that. I did have to take down a couple of my little wall quilts for that space, and I had him hang it. As you can see, I like these are all my DMCs. I like them, well, I was stitching 2/2, so I liked them longer so I could just double up one thread. But now that I'm a big girl, I'm going to 36 count, and I'm going to try 40. Those might have to be a little bit shorter. But what I did is, so they're just clipped. So how easy, just to unclip. So as you can see, I'll take that one off. I started writing the DMC color up on the top, but then it would get covered by the clip. So I'm going to put all of them here. I am going to do them numerical instead of putting them all by color, because when I pull floss, I do it by number, you know, if I'm looking for something for a chart. So I was talking about my long dog sampler. These are all my silk from the thread gatherer. And can you see the variegation in this? This is called Chimney Sweep. And I have a bunch of it because I am going to be doing my long dog sampler out of that. I can't quit feeling them. They feel so, isn't that beautiful? Now this one is different. This is the one I'm using to quilt my Block of the Month quilt. I've talked about that one as well. This one is Old Hickory, and this is called SP5. It's not the Silken Colors. It's a little bit heavier. Can you see? And it's perfect for, I'm doing some hand quilting. So that is my rack. So that's the way I'm gonna organize my floss. I'm really excited about it. It's just a matter of getting everything wound and then put on the floss drops. So it's a good project when you're just sitting watching TV, but then I kind of feel like I want to be stitching. So it's a hard decision, isn't it? So I guess I'll just end and maybe show you what I'm working on, because this is what I've been, I thought I had Stitch Mania plans, and I mean, I did and I didn't. I've just been stitching every day, which is good. That's what I want to do. I had been trying to do at least one pattern or chart, one stitch a week, and then that kind of went by the wayside a little bit. But I have been working on Birds to the Boughs by Lindy Stitches. I don't have the colored to show you. It is so bright and beautiful. I talked about this one last week too. This is the one that Jim picked out with me on his birthday, April 15th. And I started, and I want to get that one done by our anniversary, which is September 6th. So I need to hold this up, don't I? I'm actually doing it. It's the same that I'm doing Paige's little rabbit on, the 32 count vintage smoky. And maybe you can see that better. I started up on the border. I'm not making mine as colorful because I want it to go in the family room. And can you guys see how close? I still have a little chunk border to put up here. How close I am to the edge. I think I'm gonna turn it into a pillow, because I didn't know where I would hang it, where Jim would be okay with it. And I think I'll make it into a pillow for our family room. So that's where it's gonna go. And I'm using all DMC colors, but that is a variegated. I think it's 400. I don't know if you can see it. It's brown and gray. And then this border, that kind of checkerboard border, it looks to me like it's in the one she stitches, all different colors. So I'm gonna make that outer border a lot more colorful. And moving right along, I'm kind of excited to start on the birds. So I'm either gonna work on that, or I'm gonna make that bracelet for myself from Not Forgotten Farms. So I don't know what I'm going to work on this week. We'll see. But I hope you guys are stitching well, that you have something fun that you're working on. And I am loving so much seeing what everybody does on Instagram and watching the floss tubes. It's so motivating and inspiring. And I'm just so glad to be here. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining with me, just so I have somebody to chit chat with about stitching. And I hope y'all have a really good week. I don't know why I said y'all. I think I was channeling Rox, maybe, because she's in Oklahoma. I don't say y'all, but I hope y'all have a good week and a good week. And I'll see you next weekend. Okay? Bye-bye.